That way, for folks who aren't here, it's also being recorded. Yep, I'm gonna do it in Onshape. So you all should have your sketches. That was something y'all submitted back in quarter 3. I just whipped this together before school. So I also created a kind of a checklist for myself of the different skills that are required for each hole. So a little hard to see, but it's got the extrude, what it is I'm going to do. So the golf course is going to be extruded. I've got some towels and stuff that are extruded. Overall, I'm going to do a beach theme. The sweep, I'm going to make some circular walls around the play area. The revolve, I'm going to have some umbrellas, beach umbrellas. Lofts, I'm going to put some beach buckets. So for those doing SpongeBob, that might work for like your chum bucket, similar concept. The hole should be applicable to everybody. That's how you make the golf hole. Linear pattern. So I got some series of beach towels and umbrellas. I'm going to use the linear pattern to do that. And then the helix, which is the last required skill. I'm going to make some like little spiral pool noodle looking things just for decoration in the background. So create yourself a little checklist, write down the skills that you need, make sure all the different things are accomplished between the hole, your landscaping, etc. So we can get rid of this. We can. Nope, that's not the right one. Video capture. There we go. All right. Make sure it's caught up. My live stream's a little laggy, so wait for it to catch up with what I'm saying. Click, 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 click. All right, there we go. All right, so reminder, all this should be in the Butler Tech Onshape. If this is not what you're seeing when you're logging in, you're in the wrong one. I still have students in almost every class logging into the regular Onshape, and then they're surprised and upset when I can't see it, and they have to figure out how to move it over. So, friendly reminder, butlertech.onshape.com. Log in. If it comes up in the activity, click on the Butler Tech logo in the upper left-hand corner. Wait for Onshape to fully load in. Create a new document, like always, mini golf is what I'm going to call my document. We'll call it number 3 because I feel like I've made a few of these now. First thing you should do, so that way you don't forget to do it, hit the share button, come down to the search names, type in my last name. Probably won't work for me because I'm already on the file. But once you type in my name, let it think. You should see one that says Jason McDonald, has my picture, select it, and hit share. That way, when you submit your assignment, I can see it. I can make sure you're the one who did it. You're not copying somebody else's, et cetera, et cetera. So now that it's shared with me, now it's time to start making my hole. I'm gonna start from a top-down view. So I'm gonna click over here. Let's hide that. That would be, is it this one? There we go. I'm gonna click on top. Let my laggy live stream catch up a little bit. My checklist is gonna disappear here any second. There you go. So I'm gonna click on top so that way it spins. This over so I can see what y'all are seeing. Once it's spun over the top, I'm gonna hide the front. I'm gonna hide the right. I'm gonna hide the origin too. I don't really need it for this assignment. So all I have at this point is just the top-down view. I'm gonna press sketch. I'm gonna click on the top. And so now I'm gonna start making my just the play hole part of the course, not all of the entire thing, just where the actual golf is going. So I'm going to start by using the line tool, and I'm just going to sketch out the basic play area that I had. I'm not going to worry about dimensions yet. I'm going to fix that here in a second. So as I go through, I've got the line tool. I'm drawing my lines. I'm also going to use some keyboard shortcuts so that way it's a little bit quicker for me. So to get out of the line, I'm going to just press L. That'll deactivate it. And press L again to get back in it. On my golf course, I basically had kind of a upside down or backwards L, and then there was a kind of a semicircle top. So for the semicircle top, I'm going to use the 3-point arc just to get that shape in there. I'm going to click between the two dots at the top of my kind of upside down L and expand it out to give it that shape. Once I'm done getting it the shape that I want, I click so that way it sets in place. I know I've done it all correctly. It turns gray. That lets me know that it's an enclosed shape. From here, I'm good with all my sketching for this for now. I can go through now and kind of get my dimensions down a little bit better. So I'm going to click the dimension tool up here at the top. I could also use the D button. We'll start by doing the bottom line. Dimension tool. All right, so when I drew it, it just did it at 5.5 inches, but we were allowed to have 200 feet for each side. So I don't want this to be the entire space. So instead of 200 feet, I'm probably going to just say 150 to fill up most of it, but not all of it. So I type in 150 and then FT and hit enter. Let's see. It disappeared on me. Oh, this is not liking me because I completed the whole thing. All right, I'm just gonna leave it small then, so that way I can at least walk you through it. Um, you can have the dimensions as you see fit. It's still gonna work the same. So I've got my hole. So the next step is extrude. So since I already had the shape selected, when I hit extrude, it's gonna automatically do it or select that face of sketch one. I'm gonna change the depth to 4 inches and then hit the green check mark. So now I've got the play hole area extruded. Um, it looks a little bit wonky because of the dimensions of the overall hole uh, being 6 inches long. It makes it look really fat. Whereas if you've got it 150 feet and it's only 4 inches, it's going to look really thin. So, all right, next up. So that's the play hole. Pretty easy. I would then just do the hole itself. I'm going to sketch on top of my play area. I'm going to use the point tool that's up here. So sketch, point tool. And then I'm going to pick a spot in the golf course where I want the hole to be and just put a point. Once I've got the point down, I'm going to green check mark it. I'm going to then go to the hole tool, which is up here at the top outside of the sketches. In the little pop-up window, it's going to ask me, where do I want my hole? I'm going to click on that dot that I just created. It's going to ask me how big I want the hole. This is where my dimensions are really going to look awkward because of the size of the hole. So I'm going to have to fix that here once we're done. But I'll walk through all of this, and then afterwards, when I let y'all loose, I'll fix my dimensions, and then share with y'all how it actually looks. So hole's 4 inches, hit the check mark. There you go. Now I've got my hole on my golf course. And it looks really weird because the hole is almost as big as that circle. All right. So that's the basics of the play area. I can then go through if I wanted to add different shapes into the play area to, make obstacles. So say I wanted to create some sort of obstacle in the middle. In my drawing, I had like a little sandbar in the middle, so I could create it as an oval. Under the circle tools, oval. Just gonna draw it there in the middle. Once it's done, I'm gonna extrude as a new piece. I'm gonna make sure it goes down versus up, so that way it kind of digs in, kind of create a little sand trap. I'm gonna edit the appearance of it, give it a little bit. I don't know. It's gonna do the whole thing for now. I'll work on that here in a bit. All right, so that's the general play area. Now for the actual outside of the golf course, where all the landscaping and stuff goes. We'll sketch again on the top. I'm gonna draw a nice big rectangle around the whole thing. Since I'm allowed 200 square feet by 200 square feet, I'm just gonna type in 200 square feet. You'll see that it auto creates that size. So I need to zoom out, so I'm gonna right click, go zoom to fit. So I can at least see my whole play area here. Once that's done, I'm going to extrude again. I'm going to do another 4 inches just to give it some depth. At this point, because my play hole wasn't the right size, it's kind of disappeared. So again, afterwards, I'm going to fix those dimensions and then share with y'all again. So at this point, I've got my extrude. Now we'll work on some of the other tools. So for the revolve, we'll make some umbrellas. All right, so in this case, I need to go and create a second plane to sketch against. So we'll make an umbrella up here in the corner. And we'll start. I need to have 3 points to make a plane easily. So to get 2 of my points, I'm going to make a circle. And I'm just going to put little dots on the outside so that way I know they're kind of lined up. We'll green check it. Now I'm going to create an offset plane. So I hit the plane tool that's up here at the top. I make sure that the option says offset as well. And I'm going to offset it versus the face of Sketch 5. So I'm just clicking on the big blue square. We'll make the umbrellas about 1 foot tall, so 12 inches is how far off I'll offset it. Hit the green check mark. I guess 12 inches probably isn't enough. It probably needs to be about, this is life size. An umbrella is probably about 10 feet, so we'll go 120 inches. There you go. So now you can see if I spin it sideways, there's kind of 2 layers. Got a little bit of depth to it. Now to get my 3rd point to make myself another 3-point plane here to revolve against, I'm going to sketch on that new plane that I just created, so plane 1. So sketch plane, I'm just going to click on plane 1 on the left. And I'm going to do a point just right above the middle of my umbrella from earlier. Yeah. So now I've got my 3 points to make a 3-point plane. I'm going slow. There's the 3rd point. Now you can see them. So now I'm going to click on the plane tool. And we'll pick 3-point for my drop down. It's asking me over here the entities. So I'm gonna pick the 3 dots. 1, 2, 3. You'll see now, as soon as it catches up, that I now have a new plane, plane 2, where I can sketch on. So now, since I said I was going to use the revolve tool, I have to create a closed shape and an axis for it to revolve around. So I'm going to sketch on this plane. I'm going to right click and I'm going to do view normal to sketch plane. And that's going to rotate my view so that way that plane is flat. It just kind of helps a little bit. And let it catch up. There we go. So now I can kind of see it from the side and draw this a little bit easier. So my umbrella is going to be a line with a arc coming off of the top. Oh, it needs to be closed. Make my pole flat so that way it's an enclosed shape as well. All right, now I can revolve. So it's automatically already picked faces of sketch 7. What am I revolving it around? Part of the umbrella, the outside line can be my axis. Now I just hit the green check mark. And now I've got an umbrella, more or less. Now to make some beach towels for my beach theme, they're just rectangles. So I'm just gonna draw a rectangle out in front of the towel, extrude. I'll just do it for 2 inches. And then I should do it as a new feature. So we'll go back into the extrude, make sure I select new versus add. So that way it creates it as a new part. I can make it as a different color versus the background. So now I've got my extrude, I've got my revolve. To make these into a linear pattern, I'm going to go and I'm going to select the linear pattern button right here. I'm going to select it. It's asking what direction do I want. Where's my direction button? We'll cancel that out. We'll do the linear pattern within the sketch. So click linear pattern, select the four walls of the 4 lines of the towel. Now it's saying it's going to make it one row tall. Right now it's trying to say 3 rows outside, not really where I want it. So I'm going to use the arrows to kind of space them out. You can kind of see them. Here's my second towel. Here's my third towel. If I wanted more, I could change this number to say 6. It'll now have, 6 sunbather towels sitting out there all on the beach. Then if I go back and extrude, is that going to work? Of course not. It didn't take my bottom line on my linear pattern, so we'll try one more time. Start with the bottom. There we go. Now I got all 4. That time when I did it right and I got all 4 lines, it automatically extruded them because I had already extruded the first one. So there's your linear pattern. Loft, the beach buckets. All right. So sketch again on kind of the outside area. Beach bucket is basically 2 circles on 2 levels, just lofted together. So gonna again go top down view. We'll put those over here, kind of in front of the towels. Why not? So there's the bottom. I'm gonna accept that. I'm gonna create the offset plane to get the top circle for it. So create a new plane, offset from the play area again. In this case, we'll make the buckets about 12 inches tall. So I'm gonna create that offset to be 12 inches. And then I'm gonna do a new sketch on that new plane 3, which is just a circle. Make it a little bit bigger than the original one because, sand buckets or whatever go a little bit bigger from top to bottom. Once I've got that circle, I can kind of zoom in on it a little bit. Hit my loft tool and loft from the bottom circle to the top circle to give me that kind of buckety shape. In this case, it looks a little bit squashed to me. So in that case, I can just change the height of my plane 3, how far it's offset. So maybe we'll go with the 3-foot bucket, change it to 36 inches. And now it gives it more of a bucket versus maybe a gold pan, or I don't know what you might want to call that size. So now we got most of the tools in there. Really the last one that we've not used before is the helix. So helix is just creating some circles and then making them spin. So in this case, we'll just sketch again on the playing area, or the landscape area in this case. Circle, top down. We'll make one over here. We'll zoom in on it. Go with the circle, green check it. Your helix tool is in the same drop down area as your plane. So I'm gonna hit the button to the right. It's about halfway down. It says helix. I could do one off of a cylinder or cone, just a simple line axis or a circle. So in this case, I'm doing it from the circle. It's asking where the circular edge is. It's the circle I just made. And then I can just drag it up and make that helix as big as I want. So in that case, I'm just going to make it about that big. And so now I've got a helix kind of sticking out of the ground. As I update it all, I can then go through and transform it, move it around, things like that. Or I can just leave it as is. Maybe, kid got bored after they were in the ocean, just stuck it, laid it on the ground like that. So that is the helix. So that's all the main tools that we need for the golf course. I'm going to let y'all work on yours. I'm going to fix the dimensions on my actual hole area so it all looks right versus just this. And then I'll put it back up on the screen for y'all. Y'all good? Any questions?